Hello, Instagram. How are you all doing? I'm just going to make sure the air conditioning is turned off and so we can begin. Sorry, I'm starting late. Slept off. So if you are joining us for the very first time, this is Life's Journey with Benedicta. Hello everyone. Hi. Welcome to Life's Journey with Benedicta. If you are joining us for the very first time, we are here late nights every Saturday. Except on the Saturday when I'm extremely busy. Today we were supposed to start 11:30 Nigerian time, but I slept off. So sorry about that. So last week we were on the empowerment program series and we're still on it. We're going to talk a bit about justice for women that have endured toxic relationships. And when we are done, we're still going to talk about female empowerment. Last week, we were able to give 3 of our winners 100,000 naira each to assist them with their micro business. The recipients have received their monies, but we still have 7 slots of which we're still screening. Some people just come and ask for money for fresh startups. And I remember I said last week that we are not giving money for fresh business startups. We are only giving money to already existing businesses with female owners. We want to empower women because that is one of the reasons why women continue to remain in toxic relationships, because the lack financial stability, the financial resources to pull themselves out of a bad place. I once endured an extremely toxic relationship. So it beats me when I hear people say, oh, justice for my previous partner. I wonder the people that have been paid to carry such a propaganda. Where is the justice for me? When I suffered for 10 whole years, there was no one out there carrying placards on the streets. Maybe because we didn't have social media, or maybe because, of course, I endured quietly. I suffered privately. And when I felt I could not take it anymore, my life flashed before my eyes. I knew I was going to die. It got to the point where I knew I was going to die before I finally came out. And the reason why I do Life Journey is because I don't want women to have to endure. I don't want women to have to endure for as long as I did to come out. Many people are not going to be able to survive 2 years of what I endured, let alone 10 years. So we're going to have a lot of dead cases in our hands. A lot of people will not survive 3 years what I endured for 10 years. So me coming out to talk about my life and the things I went through in a toxic relationship is for younger women out there to know that it isn't worth those number of years. It isn't worth your life. You don't have to give up 10 years of your life trying to make face, trying to live according to societal norms and ethics. It's not going to get you anywhere, because it didn't get me anywhere. I suffered unduly for 10 years. And what was that for? Because of the society we're in, because of our mindset orientation. we need to reorient ourselves. We need to have a mindset shift. And until we have a mindset shift, a lot of women are going to continue to die in toxic unions. A lot of women are going to continue to lose their minds in toxic relationships. When I'm talking about toxic union, I'm talking about toxic marriages, I'm talking about toxic relationships. We need to unlearn all the things that we were taught that makes a good marriage. A good marriage is when a woman can pretend for as long as eternity. A woman can pretend for as long as possible, enduring all the ills that is going on in that marriage. A good union is when a man can pretend for as long as he can possibly, enduring all the ills of the marriage. That was what we were taught. And that mindset has to change. We have to start considering mental health issues. We have to start considering happiness. What makes us whole? What are the things we want to achieve in life? Living in life or living is not just enough. Surviving as a human being is not just enough. If you are in a place where you are not thriving, you should leave that place. If you are in a relationship, you are in a marriage where you are not thriving, you are basically struggling to live every day, trying to live, take every day as it comes, then you are in a bad place. We need to start changing the way we see or what our perception is of a good marriage. What are the things that we were taught that makes up a good marriage? Is it your ability to endure your husband's infidelity? Is it your ability to hide the fact that your partner is closeted? Is it your ability to hide the fact that your partner has a different sexual orientation from you? Is that what makes you a perfect wife? Is that what makes you a perfect husband? Our mindset has to change. We have to start telling ourselves the truth. We have to start valuing those things that mean so much to us. Whatever it is you think are your values, they are important to you. You have to fight to uphold them. You have to fight to live them out. Some other person's yardstick of what a happy home should not be your own yardstick in measuring what you define as a happy home for yourself, or what you define as a happy union or as a happy marriage. For so many years, I looked at my previous union as, oh, it has to be in a certain way that is accepted by the society. And that was why I suffered for those number of years before I could finally have the courage to come out and say, you know what? I have had enough. I have to come out of this, because I knew I was going to die. I knew I could not take it anymore. But the question I keep asking myself every day is, why 10 years? Why did I have to give 10 years of my life before I could realize that I was in a quagmire, something that was never going to change? I was in a pit. I was in a mess. Why did it take me that long? It is because of the mindset that I had back then. And I want young women out there to begin to have a mindset shift. What our grandparents, our parents taught us to be a happy home, a happy union, isn't really what it is. If you are in a relationship, you're a couple, and you find that you are in a toxic place and you have done everything possible to make it work and it's not working, and you can see that your mental health is becoming challenged, you are suffering from depression, acute depression, you are constantly being battered, you're constantly being used, you're constantly being manipulated, you're constantly being cheated upon. I'm not talking about one-off instance, you catch your partner cheating on you and he or she comes back home to say, oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about a lifestyle of constant cheating. You're opening yourself to STDs. You're opening yourself to untimely death, because that is the only thing you're going to get. A lot of women these days, when they discover that they have ovarian cancer, what is the cause of the ovarian cancer? Is the human papilloma virus, and that is passed by the man. So if you have a cheating husband, you're most likely to test positive for the HPV virus. So why are you opening yourself to this? Because our parents taught us that what makes a good marriage is your ability to accommodate a cheating husband. Even when your husband commits bigamy, you are advised to remain in that union. Why are you advised to remain in that union? Oh, because, for the sake of the children, if you leave your husband, you're not going to be able to cater for the children. How are you supposed to pay their school fees? How are you supposed to feed them? How are you supposed to care for them? Everything boils down to finances, because we live in a society where the welfare system does not prioritize the children's need. I went through that system for the entire period that I was battling my divorce case in the court. I never got 500 naira. I never got 100 naira in child care support from my ex. I never got 100 naira. I'm saying it on live TV. If there's counter proof, the receipt should be thrown out. After all, every transaction that is made in the bank reflects in the bank. I never got 100 naira for childcare support. I had to fend for my children. I had to feed them. I had to clothe them. I had to pay for a driver, take them to school, because I had to go to work to hustle for the money I needed to pay for the house rent. I had to pay for the house rent. I had to pay for the car that takes them to school. I had to pay for lesson teachers. I had to put clothes on their back. I had to pay for tuition. My first two children were already in a school that was so expensive, and the court asked us to maintain status quo. So after much fighting, verbal fighting and series of letters, the tuition of those two was paid to the end of their secondary school term. But I had to pay for the other ones, and I had to feed all of them. And what was my crime? Because I asked for joint custody. Joint. Here in Nigeria, men believe that when a marriage is over, women are supposed to hand over their children to the husbands. And then you'll be allowed to visit your child one day in a year, or the child will be allowed to visit you for a few hours in a day or 24 hours, because you do not have what it takes as a woman to have joint custody with a man. That is the society we're living in, and all of these things has to change. We have to change the system. I suffered it, and I saw a lot of women suffering like I was. And what was my crime? I wanted to come out of a toxic relationship. I wanted to come out so badly. We have to change the system. I cannot change the system alone, but collectively, I believe we can change the system. We can create a better system where children do not have to suffer more than they already do in a situation where a marriage breaks down. There should be a system in place with laws enforced for there to be joint custody. The only reason why I don't see why parents should have joint custody of children is if one of the parent has a mental health issue, or if one of the parents has a drug-related problem. Like we see in the Western world, only such grounds will a parent be denied access to a child? Or if you can prove that that parent is sexually abusing that child, only on those grounds will a parent be denied access to a child. A parent will not be denied custody because she insists on remarrying, or she insists on getting into another relationship. A marriage is over. Why should you tie down your life forever? If the marriage is over, you should move on. It is only advisable for you to be in a healthy and a loving relationship, as opposed to hopping from one man to another man, or from one woman to another woman. Our society should encourage us to be bold about dating, remarrying. If a marriage should end and you so desire to be in a new relationship or in a new marriage, so be it. I understand that some people, after the end of a marriage or after the end of a relationship, they are so pained and so bitter, they need a lot of time to recover, that they do not want to go into a new relationship. That is also fine. That should be your choice and your choice alone to make. Not for the courts to make that choice for you. Not for the society to make that choice for you. Not for your church or your pastors or your relatives to make that decision for you. That decision is yours and yours alone to make. Should you choose to begin a new relationship, to be in a healthy, beautiful, loving relationship, that should not deny you access to your children. That should not deny you an opportunity of having joint custody with your children. So when you go on that social media and you're carrying placards, justice for this person, justice for that person, I want you all to carry placard for justice for the children. Justice for the children of a failed marriage. Marriages fail. Divorce happens. Life happens. There is nothing wrong with a divorce if you are in a toxic union and you're going to be beaten to death, or your partner is going to cheat until you contract an STD, or your partner is closeted. I don't have issues with people having different sexual orientation. That is your life. Whatever you choose to do with your life, ensure that the partner you're with is consenting to that lifestyle. But when you go on a mission to deceive another person, to lure another person into a marriage where he or she is not suspecting of the fact that your sexual orientation is different, that marriage never happened. That marriage is null and void. It never happened. So for closeted men out there and women that are closeted, my advice to you today is, should you choose to live your life the way you want to, you want to live that kind of life, please pick a life partner that understands you and agrees with your type of sexual orientation. Do not go on a mission to deceive a woman. Do not go on a mission to deceive a man, because you can only deceive them for so long. And in the instance they find out who you truly are, he or she is going to leave you. It's only going to happen. So you being bitter and crying for the rest of eternity is not going to change anything. Nobody came to this world to be anybody's slave. We were all born free. And if you have been living under the guise that you are somebody's slave or you're somebody's property, this is the time for you to break yourself free. You are no one's slave. You have come to this life to live a fulfilled life, to live a beautiful life. And it's your choice to live that beautiful life, to have that beautiful life, to have that loving relationship, or to die in a toxic one. But don't you for once think that you own anybody. How can you, a human being, own another person? I mean, come on. You didn't create them, you're not God. And then you think you can own somebody? That in itself is a mental condition. For you to think that you can own somebody, dictate how they live their lives, how they breathe, because you are married, is called slavery. And I'm here to preach to women out there, no man should enslave you in the name of marriage. No man should enslave you in the name of a relationship. A healthy and a loving relationship should be symbiotic. Both of you will lean on each other for support. You taking from him and him taking from you. It should be a symbiotic relationship. If you're in any relationship that is parasitic, I beg you to leave today. I wasted 10 years of my life. The only beautiful thing I got were my children, nothing else. Nothing. And I mean, with my children, I would have still left earlier than 10 years. And then I had to spend another 10 years, 9 years and 8 months in the Nigerian High Court battling for a dissolution of marriage. A marriage that spanned a period of 10 years. I had to now battle for a dissolution for another 9 years plus. Is that life? That is witchcraft. They say justice delayed is justice denied. What is wrong with our judicial system? I know we don't want to say, oh, our judicial system is bad, is this. But the delay in our judicial system is way too much. It is abnormal. It is unfair to tie down a man's life or a woman's life for 10 years. And in those 10 years, you expect that man or that woman to stay celibate. That man or that woman has no right to have sexual intercourse according to the laws because he or she is undergoing a 10-year divorce. Let us tell ourselves the truth. This system has to change. This system has to change. We have people in the judiciary. We have men and women in the legislature. I don't believe that anything in life is set in stone. When a rule or a policy isn't favorable for the masses, then that rule or that policy has to be amended. If it cannot be amended, it has to be annulled. It has to be removed completely and a new law reenacted. Why can't we have family courts, functional family courts that have the power to dissolve marriages in less than a year or two and both parties will go their separate ways? It's understandable if you're in a divorce case and in the first 1 year of your divorce, you're caught cheating. Okay? But what is 10 years? Which man or which woman will stay celibate without having a sexual partner in 10 years? And then the High Court will call it what? Infidelity? Is that really infidelity? And that is why I say our society is designed to keep us living like hypocrites. Because you know, legally, they're going to say, oh, she committed adultery. So, you are now going to hide. You will not want anybody to know you're in a relationship. You're going to date Mr. A for 6 months. And because you're doing hide and seek now, the relationship will not work. And after 2 years, you're going to date Mr. B. You're going to code. Nobody's going to know you're sleeping with Mr. B. After 1 year, you will date Mr. C. And in the course of that 10 years, you have slept with over 10 men, or 7 men or even 15 men had sexual relationship with like 15 different people. But guess what? You are holy. Nobody knows about those 15 different men you slept with in the course of 10 years that your case was in the high court. So that makes you a good person. Before the eyes of the law, you did nothing wrong. So that is why I say our system, our society is designed to keep us living like hypocrites. And that system is what we have to change. If we want to have a better society for our children, we want them to have a better quality of life. We have to change the system. We don't have to live it the way we met it. We don't have to live it the way our parents met it. So if we are living the system the way our parents met it, then what is our own contribution to our motherland? What is our own contribution to humanity? Yes, Life Journey, it's a female empowerment program designed to make some certain changes in our society geared towards marriage dissolution, children custody issues, women battery, and stuff like that. And I need female lawyers to come on board. If you know you're a female lawyer or even a male lawyer and you like to work pro bono, you like to assist women that have no financial resources but they want to come out of a toxic relationship. If you can assist them in taking their cases to court for free without charging them, please send me a DM. It will shock you the number of women I have that want to file for a divorce, but they have no financial backing. They don't know where to begin. They are being battered. They are living like slaves in their house. We have a current case of a woman in Abuja right now as I'm speaking to you. She has been held in her house arrest. She can't go anywhere. But nobody knows. She's being battered in that house. Her phone has been seized. For some days now, I've been trying to contact her. We can't reach her. Her phones have been seized. She's living like a dog in her house in Abuja right now as I'm speaking to you. So there are lots of women in toxic relationships. You people are only seeing less than 1/20th on social media. It's just that I can't open my DM to see the messages I get on a daily from women that are being battered. A lot is going on. So if you are a female legal practitioner, please, and you know you can work pro bono for battered women, for women that are looking for legal counsel to assist them with dissolution of marriage, children custody issues, please, we need your help. Life Journey is not just here to tell stories. We're here to help each other. We're here to help one another. We're here to liberate women from slavery in the name of marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Being in a beautiful and a loving relationship is something I wish for every single person. I tell you, I have experienced horrendous relationship and I am experiencing a beautiful union. And I can tell you that being in a beautiful, loving relationship is one of the best things that can happen to you. But if you are in a toxic relationship, come out of it. That can cut your life short. It can bring an end to your existence, and you don't need that. So Life's Journey is here to help people. We're here to help women going through marital issues, children custody issues. You know, it was not an easy road for me. Still not an easy road. I'm still on that road though, because I have case in the Court of Appeal. I actually took the judgment to the Court of Appeal because I wasn't satisfied with the judgment that I got in the High Court. So I am still on that road, don't get me wrong. And I know there are lots of women out there that are going through even worse, but they do not have any form of assistance. And that is also one of the reasons why I am passionate about women being financially empowered. Women, you have to help yourselves. Even if someone wants to help you, you have to start the work. You have to help yourself first. When you are helping yourself, when people can see you, you are somewhere down that road, they can chip in. It is not enough that you're just sitting down in your husband's house. He's a rich man. He feeds you. He clothes you. That is not enough reason for you not to have a livelihood. A lot of men will tell you, don't work, don't worry, honey, we have joint accounts. If your relationship hits the rock, that is when you know that that money is his money. It is not our money. I talked about this last week. There is your money and there is our money. Women, wake up. When the love is sweet and everything is going rosy, you're going to see, oh, our money. But when she hits the rock, man, even yours is going to be contested. I have properties that I bought in my name that is being contested in the courts out of greed, sheer greed and wickedness. You know the property is not yours. Your name is not on the deed. But you're contesting it in court. And do you know why this is going to be contested in court? Because any nonsense that is filed as a lawsuit in the Nigerian court will be heard. Now, a clear example. Now, this dock is mine. I bought this dock. It's in my name. You know it's mine. I know it's mine. But out of sheer wickedness, I can decide to take this to court and tell everyone that cares to listen that this dock is not yours and that this dock belongs to me. Now, the law says that any matter that comes before the High Court is going to be tried, okay? Now, the judge is going to want to listen to know who actually owns the dock. I am being mischievous because I know that the dock is not my own. I know it's your own. But I know that by the time the judge is going to sit on this case in Nigeria and listen to the case of who owns this dock, it's going to be 10 years. So I'm going to be smiling knowing that at the end of that 10 years, I'm not going to get the dock because the dock was never really mine, you know. I only wanted to take the case to court to punish you so that in the course of those 10 years, the money you're supposed to use to be buying LV bags, the money you're supposed to use to be buying human hair, taking your children to Disney, paying your children's school fee, you're going to be spending that money on lawyers. Every year, every month, you'll be paying your lawyers to go to court to defend the case. So the judge will eventually see that this dock belongs to you. I am just being mischievous. I am intentionally ensuring that you lose all your money. My darlings, women, this is what happens in most toxic relationships here in Nigeria. Toxic relationship ends up in very contentious divorce suits. So when a divorce suit is contentious, I can come up with 20 different lawsuits. I'm going to take you to the High Court, Lagos High Court, and I'm going to tell them that this dog that I know belongs to me, that I know belongs to you. I'll tell them in the Lagos High Court, this dog belongs to me, but I know it's not mine, it's yours. But I'm going to tell them it belongs to me. Then I'm going to take you to Abuja High Court, and I'll tell them that, let me have that board. And I'll tell them that, okay. And then I'll take you again to Abuja High Court, and I'll tell them that this shawl belongs to me. I'm being mischievous. Now you're going to run to Abuja High Court with another lawyer. My lord, that shawl belongs to me. These are the documents to show that that shawl belongs to me. And then you are in Lagos, contesting, this doc belongs to me. So at the end of the day, your evil, wicked, toxic partner that wants to run you crazy is going to institute like 10 different suits against you. And because the loophole in our Nigerian legal system makes it easy for that to happen because they're going to listen to every case. And every case is going to take 10 years, 5 years, 15 years. So you're going to be running like a headless chicken from one high court to another high court. Okay? That is what is going to happen. You're going to be running from one high court to another high court. Sorry, we have like 20 people waiting to enter. Daddy Freeze have accepted your invite. So you're just going to be running like a headless chicken. So that is what I mean when I say toxic partners try to manipulate the system. They try to look for the loopholes in the system and they try to use it against you. So women, I want you to be wise to know that there is no such thing as our money when the relationship hits the rock. That is when you know that this money is his money and this money is my money. And even at the end of the day, those things you consider yours are still going to be contested. So we have to be extremely careful. We have to be extremely careful. Women work to earn a living. Work to earn a living. You need a source of livelihood. You need a source of income that clearly states that this is yours. Nobody wants a relationship to end. Nobody prays for a marriage to end. But when it does end, you need to have something financial to fall back on. That is, we're talking about
I've been listening to your story.
Orientation, how our mindset needs to change, because that is one of the fundamental issues we have with people remaining in toxic relationships. They remain dead put, they don't go anywhere because we have been groomed, we have been taught that a good marriage is your ability to be able to endure all the irregularities, all the ills, the wickedness, the cheating, the closetedness, and everything that comes with it. That is what we were raised to believe that makes a good marriage. So until we're able to change our mindset to realize that whatever it is that affects our mental health negatively isn't good for us, and we must do everything possible to come out of it. Because I had no business staying
I'm enjoying watching you. I'm enjoying watching you for many reasons. Many people are afraid to come out and tell their stories. I'm part of your story, so I know what you're saying is not something you're making up. This is your truth. This is your reality. You know, I've seen the worst of partner manipulation in your case. I've seen the worst. You understand? I've seen toxicity on a level I've never imagined existed. I've seen a level of toxicity, a level of toxicity. And you see, let me tell you something, guys. If Tastebud's ex is going around saying she's so bad, she's so terrible, how come everybody in the family likes her? I don't have a single family member that does not like Tastebuds. I can't even think of it. How come I am not seeing her in the level of toxicity that on social media? And my message to the exes is always, if you are so good, why haven't you found somebody else to marry you? If you are really as good as you claim to be, as wonderful as you are, why is nobody in your life? You see, let me tell you something here. Sometimes some people who are not so intelligent need to ask questions. Some people don't need to ask questions, just observe. They've been saying Daddy Freeze collected somebody's wife since 2017. If not earlier. The same person, the same wife that they say he collected is the same wife that he's with. That should come.
How come you've not collected another person's wife since
How come
then?
I've not collected another person's wife since
And then how come I have not been
also ask a question. You that they
committed adultery with another person?
Hold on. You that they collected their wife, what were you looking at when they were collecting your wife? Are you so lazy? Are you a definition of
an adult can never be collected? Come on, a full-grown adult, is it on gunpoint?
A whole-grown adult was snatched. Am I now a kidnapper? You see, people need to mature up to the point where they can ask some serious questions. You know? And the more you laugh at, you see, let me tell you, there are people that I have set free. There are people that I have set free simply by giving them the opportunity to look at my life and see you can leave a bad marriage and move on to a great thing.
Yeah.
Love doesn't have to be sour.
It doesn't.
Love doesn't have to be toxic. Oh, every relationship, every single relationship on earth has its ups and downs, has its quarrels, has its sad moments. But if your sad moments outweigh your happy moments, you are in a bad place.
A bad place.
You see, let me tell you something here. When I first met Taste Buds, I'm talking about 2017. Taste Buds would wake up screaming in the middle of the night. She's here. If she tells you,
oh yeah,
you have to pacify.
I was traumatized. I was constantly fighting in my
Taste
sleep.
Buds had punched me in my sleep before, without knowing. She was fighting her ex.
Struggle.
There is a hospital report of battery from one of the most prestigious hospitals in Port Harcourt.
Yep.
Do you still have that paper?
Oh yes, I still do. I have it.
Where she was strangulated and could not talk by
I was on
her ex.
antibiotics for 7 days. I was on antibiotics.
And then the ex will come out and say somebody collected his wife. Where you put your wife where they collect her. If your wife is in a happy home, nobody can collect her unless your wife is greedy. Yeah. But you see, many people don't like to face the reality. They like to beat around the bush, and you see, they know that people on social media are dumb people with smartphones. So they know they can whip up your sentiment. They know they can play with your emotion. They know they can mess around with your intelligence or
majority, unfortunately,
the lack
of majority.
I live it. I run a church. I've heard the highest level. Oh, my ex did this, my ex did this, my ex did this. I have seen even Taste Bud's mother, when she begin to they curse that ex. Say, look, now me they beg him, say, Mama, calm down. When they traumatize, when an ex traumatize a family, that when they hear your name, they begin to they shake me for you. They begin to they shake me. Now me go they calm. They say calm down. Never reach like that. You will know that some people are toxic. Yeah,
there are different levels of toxicity. Different, but
different levels.
You don't want to experience
this particular woman was a level of toxicity that is unprecedented. I'm not saying Taste Buds is 100% or blameless.
I'm not perfect. We all have our flaws.
Nobody is perfect.
We all have our flaws.
But there are some relationships that do not need. Sometimes, maybe even the ex doesn't have any problem, but they are just bad for each other. I went through that in my former marriage.
Yes, when you're incompatible,
toxic for
Sometimes it
me.
might be sexually
And maybe I was
incompatible
toxic.
because you
And
share
the
different
relationship,
sexual orientations. Do you understand? That is enough to even set your
everybody move
marriage
on.
on the wrong course.
You know? And the more people discourage women from coming out to say their truth, from moving on with their lives, the more you create a prison called marriage. You create a prison called marriage. It's no longer an institution. It's no longer a family. It has become bondage. Mental, spiritual, and physical, sometimes even sexual prison. And more often than not, the people who are in it are afraid to get out because of what people will say. I'm not talking about random acts of cheating. I'm talking about pure wickedness. Person tell you saying they go. Go. Do you know that her ex, at least this is what I'm aware of, through the village chiefs, promised, he came and wanted to disrupt her father's funeral? Or what was the story back then?
Yeah. Without if I do not return the children, they will not allow me to bury my father.
You trust Daddy Free? I went there with the kind of police that as I got there, village, everybody shut up. No pim, nobody talk. We did the funeral. This is how everybody was looking. Nobody, even when they were to advise us to do something where we made a mistake, nobody could even advise us. Fear let them. They see the kind of convoy of police we carry go. You think, say, we they play?
Can I say something?
Yes,
Just sorry,
please.
1 second. Sorry, my sister, just 1 second. So, what is your business with your ex's father's funeral? As in, how do you people wind yourselves up in? She had to beg the judge in court so that the ex no go. I tell her, I say, no need to beg, make it come. If now woman born her, make it come the funeral. Make it see what in big passing eye. The funeral went well. They not born anybody. Unless no be us they did. They not born anybody. But did it have to get to that point?
He didn't have to get to that point. He didn't.
My
Spent
sister
unnecessary
is
money carrying police security that wasn't necessary.
we're
So
not,
many.
we're not we're carrying literally an armory.
So that is phrase,
Yeah.
congratulations. Or okay, so I want to start with the congratulations first. However, I wanted to say,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you are blessed to have the resources to stop the man from such acts. What about women that don't have, they're not exposed, they don't have that kind of resources? And our family member were also traumatized. Some family members, they don't even feel the pain like the woman.
They don't.
They're actually the one putting pressure on the woman to go back or to accept him. Or, this is Nigeria, Africa, and the way family members can, convince you to do the I'm lost for the right word right now. So how do women like that, how do they cope with situations like that?
Now,
That is what we're trying to change.
This is what we're here to change.
That is what we're trying to change. It has to change. It
And
has
the
to
more
stop.
people fight against us, the more people help people like that stay in toxicity. The more you kick against what we are trying to do to set people free, the more you enable toxicity. You see, there are people going through worse situations.
Mm-hmm.
We got a call from the UK about some woman in Abuja whose husband seized her phone. A grown woman, a man seizing your phone, a grown woman.
Being beaten every day and she's locked up in that house. A document has been given to her to sign. So that document will enable the man to leave the country with the children. And until she signs that document, her phone has been seized. She has been locked up in that house, being beaten every day. As at last week, we couldn't even reach her. We're trying to get the securities to get in touch with her. Okay? So these are some of the cases that we see that doesn't even come to social media.
And
So a lot going on.
as long as we are unable, for any reason at all, as long as we're unable to change the status quo, to alter the narrative, women and sometimes even men will continue to suffer in bad marriages. Nigeria's #1 problem is religion. Why? Because it affects the way we think. Anything that alters the state of your mind is dangerous. Your mind is telling you, I have no business with this woman, or I have no business with this man. But a book that is misinterpreted by a thief is telling you that you have to stay there.
And die there if need be. Till death do us part. So you have to
Let
die.
me tell you something. Traditions and culture are peer pressure from dead people.
Yeah. Sure.
These people have died 200 years ago. And what you don't realize is anything you try today becomes somebody else's culture tomorrow. So somebody did something 200 years ago when the situation was favorable and became culture. And you are accepting it. Head, shoulders, and body without questioning it. Osinachi died because of religion. Osinachi had no business dying. No business. There's business she had dying. If not for stupid religions and cultures and idiots who are interpreting these to vulnerable people. Let me ask you a question. Where are Osinachi's children today? They are scarred for life.
That's why I say justice for the children. Let us hold placard and say justice for children in failed marriages.
Is dead. Do you know this same thing will have been Taste Bud's story?
Hey, God forbid.
No.
No, it would have been if I was strangled that night and I wasn't strong enough to fight to save myself. My eye.
Or maybe where you were even fighting back. You throw something, it hit the guy for head, the guy faints. From there, bye.
That's it. And then I say self-defense, but I'm gonna be in jail.
Of course.
So okay. So now, how does keeping two people who obviously have no business together, how does keeping them together help the children? Instead of you to thank God for her life, when I met her, she was looking old, gaunt, dried up, frustrated. There is none of her good friends that had anything to say positive about where she was coming from. But you see, the end of the day is not Taste Buds or I. And even our own battles are long. Like I assure some people, we are going as far as Supreme Court. You cannot bully us.
Until we get justice.
And
because
when
this fight is not just about me.
Yes.
Yeah. This fight is not just about me. It's for all the women out there that have gone through what I have gone through in silence. And for women that are too scared to come out of a toxic relationship, I want them to know that they have all what it takes to fight the system to come out of a toxic relationship. So I want them to see me, to hear my story, and to watch me fight to get this justice, because a lot of women have gone through what I have gone through. Some have gone through worse, but they have gone through it in silence because the society has wants women to be quiet. They believe that by you being quiet, that's what makes you a woman. You coming out to talk about it means you have no shame, you have no regard for your family. And because of this, more children are suffering as a result of broken down marriages. I don't want to go through what my children went through, okay? I keep saying this, when you have resources coming from both parents, the children are more comfortable in terms of their financial needs are better met. But when there is a case of a dissolution or a separation, and the system that when we have in Nigeria is not enforcing that the men pay for children upkeep during the process of the dissolution, these children will suffer. The life they once knew will be turned upside down. Everything they knew or they once had is going to be cut short or completely taken away from them. If they were living in a mansion before, they will have to start living in a small house. If they were having 3 square meals a day, they might have to start having 2. If they were going to very good schools, their schools might have to be changed. And that is because we have a system that has failed us. We're talking about the solution.
Forget the stigma
But what happens to the children? In the interim, I
stigma
have to bear
among their
financial responsibility for my children, 100%. Every time I raise the case up in court, my lawyer brought it forward to the High Court judge that these children are not being taken care of. The judge will tell us to exercise patience until she gives judgment. So the judgment came 10 years after. So if I wasn't able to feed these children in the course of those 10 years, I would have had no choice. 1, either I go into prostitution, 2, I rob a bank, or 3, I return the children to their father.
Which is the case
which was the original plan. To ensure I go financially bankrupt, so I have no other choice but to return the children to him and tell my kids bye-bye. That was his plan. So what are we doing to change the system? What are we doing? Because Nigerian men are using these legal loopholes to punish women. And that is why a lot of women will rather die in a toxic marriage than come out, because they don't know how to feed their children should they come out. A lot of women are enduring bigamy that they are not consenting to because they cannot come out of that marriage. How are they going to feed their children? The system is not going to ensure that the man pays child support. So what are they going to do? Prostitute? Rob a bank? So the society is to blame here. They have failed the children welfare system. They have failed children. They have failed mothers. If the mother is the parent with the higher source of income, the court should mandate the mother to pay child support for the children. If the father is the one with the higher income, they should be made to take care of the children while the case is still ongoing. Children do not have to pull out of schools, drop out of schools, stop feeding rights because a marriage has broken down. I have a lot of legal professionals here watching this. Child welfare service officials watching this show. What can we do to change the system? Because we cannot just come here and talk every time. We have to start putting down NGOs that will be functional. If we need to get people in the legislature to pass new bills, to enact new laws that would equip a simple law enforcement officer or give a law enforcement officer the power to arrest any man or woman that does not pay for child upkeep or child support, irrespective of the case being pending in the High Court. All the power to execute these things have been handed down to the High Court judge. That shouldn't be. We know we have a judicial system where the courts, the court case might take as much as 10 years. Can we pass bills that would empower a child welfare officer and any law enforcement officer to make arrest, immediate arrest of any parent that fails to pay for child upkeep. Yes, because we cannot keep waiting for the courts. We can't keep waiting for the courts. Children need to be fed. Children have to go to school. They need shelter. They need health care. The solution in our Nigerian courts takes as long as 10 years. Who takes care of the children in the process of this ongoing lawsuit? Do you throw the children? Do you throw them to the streets? We can't put everything down for the High Court judge. It's obvious that the job is overwhelming. They cannot execute it timely. So what happens to the children? We cannot just be talking, no. This is beyond talk. We have to do something. Something has to be done.
Okay, I don't mean to be like a pessimist though. I feel like, I mean, all of this makes a whole lot of sense, but Nigeria, as it says, has a very long way to go in respect to that. While waiting for the NGOs, to put in place checks and balance such that there is child support and all of that, I always like to go on option 1, option A to Z. I feel like, are we creating more awareness for our female children to empower themselves, to understand that, getting married does not mean you should lose yourself and not have a life, not to have an identity of your own? I mean, while waiting for, because we know what Nigeria is now. We know what the system is. We know all this. And if we start, of course, Rome was not built in a day. It takes one step, and by the time, before we wait for all the time, it's almost like all the efforts will be futile at the end of the day. So I feel like we also need to, train our female children properly, create that awareness, empower them, make them understand, talk more about how important it is for a lady, a female, to understand that I am enough. I don't need a man to complete me. I need my own identity outside. Marriage doesn't complete me. Being with a man doesn't complete me. I know we are doing that. The awareness around, but I feel like it's not enough too. Because going after the system seems like, I don't know, it could come up positively. We could get good results from it. I don't know. I'm just...
You're 100%.
Now, we're not going against the system. We're only asking for new laws to be enacted, which every country does from time to time. It's called law reforms. We can't just have laws that have been passed down to us. It's not working, and we're just sitting on it. That, I believe, is the work of the legislature. When you see the society, the way that a society is evolving, you have to keep amending your laws in such a way that it suits the need of the people. So it's not just creating awareness. It's going to take a lifetime to have a mindset orientation. It's a day at a time. Where we are now is not where we were 10 years. The mindset our mothers had in their own marriages is not the mindset that we have today. So whether you like to believe it or not, we have evolved. It's getting better, but the pace it's almost like a snail's pace. But we will definitely get there. When we're going to get there, we do not know, but we will get there. So we're not trying to tackle this problem from one angle alone, which is educating the female child. I believe a lot of NGOs, a lot is going on, even the government, we're trying to educate the female child. A lot of us individually are trying to create awareness, but we have to tackle this problem from multiple angles. It is not just educating the female child.
There's something I want to say so I can leave so other people can join. The biggest strength we have is our numbers.
Yeah.
We need to help people fix their mindset. Remember, Osinachi died because of a mindset.
Yes.
It's that mindset that needs fixing. Once you can fix the mind, the body will follow.
Exactly.
What the mind cannot conceive, the body cannot achieve.
Yeah.
The mind
Yeah.
has to be able to conceive it.
Absolutely.
So we need to be able to tell people that there is nothing wrong with leaving a toxic marriage. There is absolutely nothing wrong. You should be able to leave if you are in a bad place, male or female. You should leave. You should not feel like a failure. I tell people all the time, marriage is not an achievement.
It is not, but the mindset majority of Nigerians have is, oh, it's an achievement. Wow, you're married. As if
Marriage
it's a
is
big
not an
deal.
achievement.
Come on.
Make it an achievement. It is a choice. You can choose to marry. You can choose not to marry. You could choose to stay single. You could choose to do whatever you want. It's not an achievement. We need to drive away that mentality. I'm not saying marriage is not a beautiful thing, but it is not a yardstick by which anybody's ability or disability should be measured. So
Exactly.
I leave right now, and I'm enjoying the topic, and I want you guys to continue the conversation. And the more people are set free from toxicity, from the lies, from the falsehood, the better it is for all of us. Choose happiness first.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Daddy Freeze. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. I think we pretty much said everything, mindset, reorientation, educating the girl child to know that she is more than enough.
Yeah.
She doesn't need a man to complete her. And financial empowerment is key. Building herself, academically and otherwise is key. As a woman, I keep saying it, you have to be able self is going to ensure you have a respectable relationship when you do get married. So we have to keep re-emphasizing this over and over again to our children, especially our female children. It is not enough to say you are giving a man your body and that is your contribution to a relationship. No, that is not enough. The man is also giving you his body. Come on. So you have to bring something more to the table. And if you can do that, you earn respect from the man. In most cases, you earn respect from the man. So we have to keep doing it. We can't overemphasize on the importance of talking and educating our female children to know that they need to be empowered. So that is it on toxicity in relationship. Life Journey is empowering 10 female micro business owners to come forward. We have already issued 300,000 naira cash as of last week to 3 businesses owned by women. We have 7 slots. We're still taking we're still taking on more business requests. So if you know you are a female and you have a micro business that can benefit from a 100,000 naira cash infusion, please send me a DM to Life's Journey with Benedicta on IG. Sorry, not on Facebook, not on this one. Life's Journey with Benedicta. There is an IG account for Life's Journey where we handle domestic issues, abuse, battery, divorce, separation, children custody, financial empowerment. Life Journey with Benedicta, that is what we do. So send your business name and everything concerning your business to that DM, or send it to the WhatsApp number that I will be putting up on the screen. so I can get on with talking with you and seeing how we can empower your business. We are very keen on empowering women because we know that when women are financially empowered, they will be able to make the right decisions for themselves. So I'm going to be putting up that number at the end of this video on this post, so you can reach me on that WhatsApp number. Please do not call. Send a message to that WhatsApp number with your business name and everything. I will pick it up from there. So I am not the one giving out this money. It's a very close friend and sister of mine from Canada. She is one strong woman that came out of a toxic relationship and made something fantastic in her life. She's doing so well, and she's always happy to assist women that are also working on bettering their lot. So this is a cash gift from her to 10 business owners, which we have given 3 business owners already, and we have 7 more to go. So
Okay, so Creative Taste Buds, thank you so much for what you do for women at large, and thank you for everything you do for women and the society at large. However, I was gonna ask, the initiative you just spoke about now, if we want to be a part of it, to support, how do we go about it, please?
yeah, just send me, if you do send me a DM or a WhatsApp message to the Life Journey with Benedicta, I will send you some of the things that we hope to achieve on Life's Journey short term and in the long run. What we hope to achieve for women, short term and in the long run, and then you can tell us how you would like to assist. Like I said earlier, we want female lawyers female legal practitioners that would want to do pro bono cases, that can take on pro bono cases, to please join us.
Okay, thank you very much. Because we cannot overemphasize how important women have to be financially independent, because it's the first step into realizing that if I leave this marriage, I can fend for myself. I can feed
and my children.
All right. So it stops women from staying or remaining in abusive relationship, because a lot of women, their weak points are their children. So if they feel that, oh, my children will not have a better life outside this marriage, they rather take the suffering, not putting into consideration the trauma this would have on the kids at the long run. So like you said earlier, you end up having kids with crazy trauma while they're grown, that they're still dealing with their childhood trauma.
Yes.
So I'm really grateful for this initiative, and I don't know, thank you very much, and I wish you best of luck in everything. So I would reach out to you on the page you spoke about right now, so we'll see how we can add our own little quota to the society at large. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'd like to leave now. You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You'll have a lovely weekend. Thank you for joining in.
Bye.
So, guys, that is it with Life's Journey with Benedicta today. We have talked about so many things, and I'm happy I had Daddy Freeze come on and tell us 1 or 2 things that could also help us on our journey in empowering women and changing the mindsets that has plagued us for so many years. And I'm so happy for the young lady that also joined in and threw some light on this topic. So the DM to send your messages to is the Life's Journey with Benedicta. It's an IG page or an IG handle that caters to everything concerning life's journey. Taste Buds NG page is actually food related, but I use it because of the wider reach. But for any issues pertaining to Life's Journey with Benedicta, please send us a DM to Life's Journey with Benedicta on IG. And I will be putting up the Life's Journey with Benedicta WhatsApp number underneath this post. So you can also send us your business names if you are interested and you feel you qualify to win that 100,000 naira infusion into your business. So thank you for joining us on today's program. And please, please, I'm calling out to female legal practitioners that can help in taking up pro bono cases for women women suffering from battery